everybody. It's me.
We're here for the
Me,
last week
pregame
one
show week
game.
one.
Yep. We have a very good game here. Two rivals. This is gonna be a good game. This was gonna be prime time
100%.
if it wasn't
This
week
would have been
one.
prime time if Grizzly didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yep. So let's just talk about the history about this. The Bucks and Broncos are the two oldest teams in the league. They date back to season one, and there's have always been good games. I mean,
hmm
the one of the most memorable games was the playoffs in season one when the Bucks beat the Broncos in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl, and then that's where it kind
Yep.
of just continued in season two, week one. Wavy hits Fish for the game winner with 3 seconds left, and then
Most best
last
moment ever.
season week eight, Mop hits
Pooperd.
Pooperd for the game
Pooperd.
winner. I mean, these games always come down to the last play and they never disappoint. So will be a very good game. But there's new teams for this
Oh
season.
shit. I just got information for the Buccaneers. Marbo won't be showing up at the start. He's gonna be a little late. So it's told that Don Cheadle will be in charge. So all the play calls, all the playing, it's going to be done by Don Cheadle at the start. Will this affect the Buccaneers? I don't know. But last season, they almost lost every single game at the start of the year when they didn't have Marbo. So this could affect the game.
Yeah, but you have some head coach experience, so maybe that won't be
Yeah,
horrible.
I'm not retarded. Like, you know.
So
Oof.
this is gonna be Luke's return to Denver. He was drafted by the Broncos in season one, and then he became a coach for 2 seasons. Now he's a player, and his first regular season game is back here where it all started. What are your
hmm
thoughts going into this game?
I mean, obviously Denver is where I first started as a player. I kind of like the place. Obviously, I didn't have much to develop. I wasn't that much of a good player back then. But now I think I have developed more into one of those top three, top four quarterbacks in the league where you're going to see a lot of exciting action from. But I also feel like there's some mistakes that I could make. But at the same time, it kind of just feels good to come back. You know, win or lose. I mean, this is where I started, and now that I'm on a rivals team, I feel like it makes it much more dramatic coming back.
Mm-hmm. So, let's just talk about the Broncos roster. The Broncos had a pretty good draft. They drafted Mop as their quarterback, who, um,
Was there
yeah, he
last
was their
season?
quarterback last season. He developed pretty good as the season went on. Hold on. Yeah, he got better as the season went on. So I'm expecting him to do good in the preseason. He threw one
Yep.
interception, but after that, he just kept hitting dimes to Dak and Fenix. Fenix was his favorite receiver. So I think Mop, if I were to predict, he might have an interception this game, but hopefully not. But I think he'll be pretty automatic though. If he were to throw one, it'd just be one.
Mhm.
But yeah. And then we drafted Fenix, who won MVP in season
Oof.
two. He had like nine interceptions at corner last year, so that's a big thing. And then Dak, who's a good receiver. Freddie, a good middle linebacker. Butter, season one MVP. So we have two MVPs on our roster. Never had that in
Mhm.
the league before. And then if Mickey shows up, it'll be his revenge game against the Bucks. So do you want to talk about your roster, the Bucks?
Yeah. I definitely think we're probably the most underrated draft, but I mean, you could probably say we had the worst draft, but I don't think any team probably had like a very bad draft. Arbo drafted me with the first, round. Kind of questionable, but he went for me as the quarterback, and I plan to, help that. And I feel like, me personally, I feel like I'm a very solid player. I do tend to make some mistakes, but like last preseason game, you might see me throw a 60-yard bomb somehow to tie up a game in overtime. Stuff like that could easily happen, and I feel like there's a lot of potential there. So I do see myself potentially throwing one pick, but anything could happen this game because the defense on both sides are probably going to be really good. Then we drafted Jim, who arguably was also a weird press in the draft, but so far he's been really living up to the hype in the preseason game. He did fine on defense. He had pretty good coverage, and I expect him to have decent coverage going into this game and some decent routes to be ran because usually our plays are really well. I like the plays that we have, and I feel like they'll do okay. And then we drafted Badger, who I feel if he is very consistent as a wide receiver, he will probably be the biggest steal as a wide receiver in the draft. because usually those good wide receivers get taken round 2. He was taken round 3. Not a lot of people knew him, and if he bombs out this game, he was easily probably the biggest steal of a wide receiver ever, almost, besides Whisper. And then further down the line, we had people like Zuda and KZ, who we just signed in free agency along with Dino. But Dino doesn't look like he's going to show up, neither Zuda or Drew. But Logan will show up along with KZ, Jim, and Badger. So I feel like it's a pretty solid team overall because you have someone like Badger, who's a really good MLB, I feel like, and Jim, who also is a good MLB but can have potential as a corner. So you have many people that can be versatile at many positions, which is very good for a team where you're looking for positions and where you can't find someone at a certain position, it can really screw you over. But when you have people that are very versatile at what they can do, it really makes it so much easier to help out the team. So
Yeah. So, let's talk about the preseason for. Let's talk about the preseason. So, you guys in the preseason started off pretty slow. I mean,
yeah,
you threw an interception. You guys were down by like 2 touchdowns, and then you, the quarterback, the commander of the team, you brought him back. You kept hitting Badger in the middle of the field. That's the sweet spot for him,
hmm
I
yep,
learned. And then Badger just went off, and then you guys put it in overtime. But you guys couldn't finish in OT, sadly. But that
yep,
just shows that you guys can come back from things like that, and that's a good thing
oh
to
yeah,
have early in the year, even if the game didn't count. But
hmm
that's why I think you guys are such a good team. And then for us, we it was a back and forth game. Had some things that didn't go our way with the refs, but we lost by a
yeah,
touchdown. But I think we only had 3 starters there for us. It was Mop, Dak, Crit, Fenix. So I think with more starters tonight, we could be 100% better than we were. But I'm not really worried. Even if we win or lose, I'm not worried with the season yet. A win is good, but a loss, I'm not going to be worried yet. So
hmm
hope we get this win tonight. I guess let's start with who do you think the MVP or the player of the game will be for your team and my team? I'll start with you.
I'm not gonna say myself for my team. I'm gonna say Badger. I think Badger's gonna continue where he left off. I think he's going to save me in situations where I'm about to get sacked and he gets wide open, scrambles, and I have to scramble, and we're gonna get plays off. I feel like he's gonna be that guy, that number one guy that I can really rely on to save my ass in situations to make me not look like a terrible quarterback and make me look like a really good one. And I feel like he's going to really help on defense as well as middle linebacker. I feel like he's going to apply amazing pressure, which is why I feel like where the Broncos lack is where the middle linebacker, since Freddie is really good, but he's really inactive. So if he shows up, that'll be good. But if he doesn't, it's not that good. So when Buccaneers have that major defensive position middle linebacker there and it applies a lot of pressure, I think he'll just show on defense. And for the Broncos, I think your all-star player will be Mop. I feel like he's going to bring you guys out of a hole and help you guys in many situations.
All right, I'm gonna say for your team, I'm gonna agree with you on Badger. I think he's gonna pick up where he left off last week. He's probably gonna be the by the end of the season, he's probably gonna have the most touchdowns on the team. He might be in the
Yeah.
wide receiver of the year conversation. Could be
MVP maybe.
MVP. Just depends how crazy he goes. But I say he'll be good today. And then for my team, I'm actually gonna go Fenix. I think if he
Mm,
plays some offense, if I play him, I think he's gonna do really good at offense, a wide receiver, and I think he's just gonna have a better game at corner because he was a little rusty because that was his first game
yeah.
since the Super Bowl. But I think he'll be way better as the season goes on. He always improves at defense, and I think not a better way to start, a way to better start than tonight, and just
Yeah.
I could see him doing really good tonight. But I think Mop will also do good. I was gonna go with Mop, but I just want to go with Fenix
Yeah.
to be a little different.
100%. I feel like Fence is a really good player, offensively and defensively. So I kind of agree. But like last game, he didn't do as good on defense. But I do agree he'll probably make it to where it's going to be a lot harder for me to make a shot or lock up holes that I see are open. And then the second I shoot to it, it's not going to be. So I'm definitely he's probably going to put some pressure on me to throw the ball away.
Yeah, now with our last thing, who do you think will win with score predictions? And
Um,
not with a
this
bias,
is yeah.
but you be
I
honest.
know, I know. Yeah, be honest. I know it's going to be a close game. Personally, I do think the Buccaneers will win just by one touchdown, though. I don't think it's going to be anywhere like as a blowout, as I've guessed before in the previous 2 games. I think it'll be like 56-48. I feel like it'll just be like that. Uh, I can easily see this. being a game like that, and I feel like if I do like our potential because I feel like you guys are probably the better team on paper, but I feel like with the Buccaneers' potential to be amazing, I feel like that's what takes the cake.
All
Just the
right.
potential right there.
So what'd you say for the score again?
56-48.
All right. I could see that because that's a good amount of scoring. Yeah, I do agree. It's gonna be very close tonight. No Broncos Buccaneers game has ever been a blowout. I'm obviously I don't really know. I can't say who's gonna win. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be both sides, but I'm gonna say for both teams here.
It's a tie.
I think this game. Here's a hot take. I think this game goes into overtime.
I could see that
Why
happening.
not? I mean, it's a Buccaneers Broncos game.
Yeah, I
Like
could see that
it's weird.
happening in like because the thing is, I feel like it's definitely the struggles that both team has 100% is making twos. I have trouble making twos. Mop definitely has trouble. It's probably been a Broncos trouble since the Super Bowl two, where they almost made 0 twos. I'm pretty sure. And I feel like if we have a lot of
Freddie.
trouble making twos as well, like oh shit, he showed up. Yeah, definitely going to be an issue
Oh
on both
shit.
sides. So if they have that issue on both sides, I can easily see this going into overtime. Though if I do see one team making more twos than the other, clearly, I do think it will not go into overtime. But if they continue not making twos on both sides, I do see this going into overtime.
All right. Well, kickoff will be here shortly for the week 1 finale. We'll see you guys then.
Oh shit.
I think his let me end the stream.